This is the video about punctuation by William and Katie, and we're making this video to explain 3 punctuation marks with rules and examples, and they're also Chinese translate for the people who doesn't know much about English. So let's get started. In general, periods are punctuation marks used to separate sentences or elements of references list, or we can use the periods at the end of the complete sentences. So for example, I know him well, periods. Or another example, I love boba, periods. And then we can also to end the sentences that includes a citation or quotations. Note the placement of the periods in the following instance. It was clear that Hong Kong had been culturally colonized by the West, Grouper and Finn, 1987 period. Or we can use another example. Lucy thinks that this guy will be a great dad, said Andrew, period. There are also 2 other ways to use periods. And the entire quotes before the quotations. Note the placement of the periods in the following example. That was different than the second example above. So we can use the example as Warnegger, 1965, believed that all time is all time. It does not change. It does not lend itself to wording or explanations. It simply is. Take it moment by moment, and you will find that we are all, as I was said before, books in amber. Periods, quotation mark, page 65 and period. And also we can use periods between elements of a references list entry. For example, National Institute of Nursing Research, A Family's Perspective, Pediatric Palliative Care Stories. Secondly, we're learning about comma. When independent clause are joined by any of the following 7 coordinating conjunctions, use a comma to separate them, which are and, but, for, or, nor, so, yet. For example, I love tiramisu, comma, but my cousin prefer ice creams. Another way we're using comma after words that precedes an introductory, A, clause, B, phrase, or C, main clause. For example, finally, comma, my friend slapped his bag in the closet. The third way to use a comma is to use a pair of commas in the middle of sentence to set off clause, phrase, and words that are not important to the meaning of the sentence. Use a comma before to indicate the beginning of the pause, and a comma after to indicate the end of the pause. For example, Mr. Champlin, who is a nice English teacher, he always translates documents into Chinese for us to understand. The fourth way, do not use comma to set off essential elements of a sentence, such as the clause beginning with that. Relative clause following nouns are always necessarily. Clause following verbs expressing mental action are always necessary. For example, it is crucial that no commas is added in this sentence. The last 2 ways we can learn about comma is to use comma to separate 3 or more words like phrase or clause written as a series. For example, I brought chocolate, comma, milk, comma, tea, and chips from the store. And we can also use comma to separate 2 or more coordinates adjectives to describe the same noun. For example, a shiny, comma, large diamond is placed on the dressing table. The last way we use comma to distinguish all place names, items in dates except months and days, address except street number and names, and titles in names. For example, I will celebrate December 14, 2022, as my birthday.
Next, we are going to talk about the semicolon. The first use of semicolon is to connect related but independent clauses. For example, I don't like pork, I like beef. Another example is, on Monday, we have an English test. On Tuesday, we have a math test. The second is to use a semicolon before conjunctive and verb to join 2 independent clauses. For example, he is good at playing football. Also, he is good at playing piano. I want to play video games, however, I have not finished my homework yet. The last use is to separate items in a list that contain internal commas. For example, I want to travel to the following cities: London, Paris, Iceland. I have a lot of things to buy at the supermarket. Milk, tissues, banana, ice cream. Thanks for watching.